Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a setup of Outlook 2007, and I want to start off by using a Outlook 2007 that hasn't been set up before. So this very first screen here is what you're going to see as soon as you launch your new Outlook 2007. It's going to ask you to automatically set up an account, an email account. So I would suggest having your account information on hand already. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I already have one. If you have an email set up through Axiom CRS, you're going to get a similar email to this, where you're going to get all your information kind of laid out like that. It looks confusing at first, however, it should be pretty straightforward. Watching this tutorial and then going back and setting up your own account. All right, let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and click on Next. It's going to ask you, do you want to configure your Outlook to connect to an internet, email, Microsoft Exchange, or other email server? You want to say yes, because we are going to connect to an email server. Here is the first part. It's going to ask for your name. This is the name that's going to be displayed. So a lot of times you'll see an email, it'd be someone@somewhere.com, but in parentheses it might say, like this one here, it says Barbara Sankovic. It's going to be your display name. So just for our case, we're just going to do Axiom Toots, just for tutorials. And then it's going to go and ask for the email address. This is going to be the actual email address. So for our purposes, we actually just have setup@axiomcrs.com. And it's just going to ask you for your password. So if you got it through us, it's going to be the password you chose. Or if you signed up somewhere else, it's going to be the password that you typed in. Or if somebody's giving you a password, make sure you type it in correctly. Usually caps, capital letters are needed if they are caps. So it is case sensitive. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in the password, retype the password, and we're going to go ahead and click on Next. So what this is actually going to do is it's going to actually go out to the email server and try to see if all the connections are correct. And if everything goes through, it should be fine. However, I think this should fail because we do want to set up the ports even further. So, all right, I'm not going to wait for this, but I am going to go back because there is an option to manually configure the server settings or additional server types. So if you're using something like a service like a Gmail, a Hotmail, or like a Yahoo Mail, typically all you have to do is just set this up because Outlook should automatically go out to those servers, figure out, okay, all you really need is a username and password. You shouldn't have to configure the ports. And when I say configure the ports, I'm talking about things like this. So when we have like the incoming mail server and the outgoing mail server, we want to set up these ports here. And things with like Hotmail, Gmail, and Yahoo Mail, things of that nature, they should already be configured on their side, so you wouldn't have to do that. So let's go ahead and manually configure server settings. So typically, most emails are generally internet email. If you're using Exchange, you should have your IT person set that up, or the admin of your server, whoever will have that, should have that information for you. Today, we're just going to use the internet email. So here we go. Here's the settings that I showed you before. So we're going to do the incoming mail server, and you're going to find that in the email that we sent you. So incoming mail server is just this part right here. It's the mail.axiomcrs.com. Now this could be anything relating to your website. So be mail.yourwebsite.com is generally what it is. So let's go ahead and type that in. And then the outgoing should be there too. Most of the time it's the same. Sometimes it could be slightly different, but I just want to show you there. And then for the login information, it's going to be your username is going to be the actual email itself. And the password is just going to be the password to your actual email address. It's a good thing to remember the password. Uh, so you don't have to keep typing it again. You can uncheck that if you want to keep type. If you're a mobile person and you leave your laptop out somewhere, you don't want people just checking your email. Most people, they just like to log into their Outlook and automatically download the emails and remember the password to allow you to do that. So let's test our account settings. So there we go. We logged onto the incoming and we sent the test email message. So let's close that out there. Actually, let's just go into more settings just for the heck of it. So this is where you're gonna have to use if you have special encryption or if you need certain authentication for emails. This is the more settings button will bring up this new window here, and this is where you're gonna have all these options. However, we do want to set up our ports, and like I said before, all the ports are going to be in that email. So the two ports that we want to set up is the incoming 110 is usually the default, and we'll leave it at that. The other default for the outgoing is 25. In our case, for the servers that we use Bluehost, and they are actually 26. Oops, 26. And a lot of people ask me this question: is if I have a desktop and a laptop, and I set up Outlook on both of them, will I get the emails on both of them? You will, in a sense. One of the things you want to do is this delivery option here. Probably the best thing you could ever do is leave a copy of the message on the server. When this happens, is what happens is the message actually goes to the mail server, and then your Outlook will download that email. So even if let's say you deleted the email on your desktop, you will still get that email on your laptop. So it will actually live in two places. Now you can set up an IMAP to automatically delete it. If you delete it in one spot, it'll delete it from the other spot. I really don't recommend this because I've seen in the past, some people will forget or they'll see an email and I'll check it later, and then they accidentally delete it and they're like, oh, I can't get my email back. So I would always leave a copy of the message on the server. If you delete it on your laptop and your desktop, and you still want to get that email, you can always log into your the online portion, the webmail, and still be able to get that back. So let's go ahead and hit OK, and then from here we're going to hit Next, and there you go. You finished the wizard, and all it's doing now is it's going to set up the account, set up the boxes, and here we are. So this is just asking me if it's a default email program, so you can either say yes or no if this wants to be a default. In my case, I want to say no. Most people want to say yes. And I'm just going to remind me later. And here we are with the email box set up. So this is just the regular welcome to Outlook test message. This is the one that actually sent out and came back in. And there you go. You're all set. So that's Microsoft Outlook 2007 setting up for the first time. So there you go.